What's going on, folks? Eddie Carrington. And I don't have my external mic with me, so I apologize for the subpar audio. But it's Friday, and I was out with the family, having a good family outing, trying to avoid going to the site over here on the east side for a week straight, for 7 full days, hoping that I have the different processes and things in place to kind of avoid me coming to this site on a daily or bi-daily regimen, right? And so I was almost there. Tomorrow would have been a full 7 days of me not making it to the site, but of course at 4:45 on Friday, I get a call and I am alerted of the fire alarm being tripped, right, or going off at the site, which means that I need to go to the site and potentially reset the alarm and or have the fire alarm company come out and clear out the sensor on the alarm, because the tenant that we have moving in, they're starting their build out process, and so they're saw cutting the concrete to run some plumbing throughout the space that they have. And I'm gonna assume that the dust from their saw cutting tripped the alarm. And so now I'm headed back over to the east side, and I'm gonna try to see if me resetting the fire alarm gets us to a point where everything is all good. But worst case scenario, I may need to call the fire alarm company out to handle the clean out of the sensor. We'll see how that works. We'll see how it fares out for me. But these are the problems that we as landlords have to manage and have to solve on a consistent basis. And in most cases, the challenge is not the same as a previous challenge that you went through. It may be similar, but it's not the exact same. And so it's a consistent process of learning how to be patient, putting your big boy boots on, and going to solve issues that could have been avoided. But here we are. So I'm taking you along with me on a Friday afternoon, 5:30. Man. Huh. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to reset this. Okay, I think I fixed it. Hit the reset button. Looks like the system is normal. And we're good to go. But man, this is the type of stuff you deal with at the end of the day. You got to constantly just be on call. And even if you have a property manager, they may not necessarily be able to come get to the site as quickly as you can. And so now you're forced to put your big boy boots on and show up to the site, do what you got to do in order to make sure that whatever issue that happens to be active at that present moment is dealt with. So today it was the fire alarm. Tomorrow it's probably going to be something else. Next week it's going to be something else, but that's what we sign up for. And so back to the point of reminding you that property management, being a landlord, development is not a passive industry to be in. And so be prepared as you level up from your single family fix and flips, which come with their own issues, to when you start getting into the larger projects and developments that will force you to have to handle different things that you may or may not have experienced or have solved in the past, right? I have a $100,000 fire alarm system here, probably more when you obviously add up the fire suppression running throughout the entirety of this facility. Definitely more than $100,000, but here we are, taking care of what we need to take care of in order to make sure the tenants in the building aren't being annoyed by a fire alarm that is constantly going off. So this is the unit that is slated to be a yoga studio. The tenant has not yet closed on her financing. She's trying to figure that portion of the process out in real time. It's not easy to do when it comes to a yoga studio. A lot of these funding partners are questioning her forecast for one reason or another, because they don't think that she'd be able to hit the numbers that she's forecasting. But in actuality, I think she's being a bit conservative with what she's forecasting. She not only does yoga, she does kickboxing. She has a number of other different ways that she can generate revenue for her business. But when it comes to a yoga studio in Detroit, the funding partners are always second guessing and questioning these different forecasts that these individuals are coming up with. And the ironic thing is, if you were to put the same concept that she's wanting to do in Royal Oak or Ferndale or Birmingham, the funding partners would love to fund a build out of what she's proposing, because of the amount of understanding those markets have with regard to how important it is for a fitness studio such as a yoga studio to be involved in the community structure and the fabric of the commercial corridors over in those areas. But here in Detroit, for whatever reason, yoga studios don't get as much love. But it is what it is. And so the tenant is continuously working through the different challenges of funding partners not believing in her, believing in her concept. And it just makes her stronger, but it also pushes out the projected completion date, and or even more importantly, the start date when it comes to building out her space and getting an actual schedule of when her official ribbon cutting may be. But that's the life of an entrepreneur. When you have a small business, a concept that may not necessarily has been proven out in a particular market, you have to show and prove, and you have to convince. You have to do a lot of convincing in order to get somebody to a point where they can see the vision the way you see it. But walking the site now, really dusty, but we have drywall up in this hallway. This means of egress was something that we had to put up because now we have two tenants, and both tenants are using the bathroom. And so this ultimately caused us to add this emergency exit in the event that there's a fire and somebody who is patronizing the restaurant or the yoga studio is not able to get out this way. They in turn have their emergency exit here. So it is what it is. But as far as the restaurant area, they have actually started their framing. And what actually set off the fire alarm today was them saw cutting for the plumbing work that they're going to need to do throughout the site. And so as you can see, they did a lot of cutting, and they're going to come back and basically bust that up in order to run some piping for their kitchen sink their wash sink, their bar. The bar is gonna go here. And so they're gonna have a lot of utility located there, whether it be the fountain drinks and a sink for cleaning out the dishes and things of that nature. That's gonna go there, but this is gonna be a private serving room where you can rent out this space if you have a large group of individuals that want to come and meet over some tasty food. This is a West African cuisine concept. Really excited about Little Liberia and their offerings. I've had a few opportunities to try their food, and it's really, really good, really unique. And this is gonna be a destination spot when it comes to people looking to eat, getting something different than their everyday fast food, restaurant food. You don't have any West African cuisine, any Liberian cuisine that I know of in Michigan. And so she's gonna be kind of a trailblazer when it comes to introducing this region to the flavors of Liberia. Really excited, but I just wanted to show you around since I was forced to come to site today and deal with the fire alarm issue. And while I'm here, I might as well show you around. And so you saw a little bit of a sneak peek as to what's happening on site. And I can't wait for this ground level to be inhabited by an actual business, because that's when me as the developer will feel like I've accomplished what I've promised to this community. We're getting there, but we're not there yet. But we're working towards it. All right, so thanks for chiming in, and I'll catch you in the next video.